Okay, so we're starting Yudalad Amid Beis. We're actually right in the middle of a subject over here. And we're discussing the 7 women that were prophets. Okay, so we're up to now Esther. How do we know that Esther was a prophet? That's where we're learning right now. So the Gemara says, Esther, how do we know that Esther was a prophet? So the Gemara says, the Ksiv, because the pasuk says in Esther, hey, interesting way how we read this pasuk. So how do we read this pasuk? It says, "Vayhi bayoim hashlishi batilbash Esther malchus." This is after Mordechai was pleading with her to go ahead and intercede with King Achashverosh. So it says that on the 3rd day after they fasted, she goes and she dresses up in her royal garments. But notice the lashon, the exact language of the pasuk. It says here, "Batilbash Esther Malchut." It doesn't. She dressed Malchut. It doesn't say Batilbash Esther Bigdei Malchut. She dressed royally. Zog the Gemara, Bigdei Malchut Miboilei. The pasuk should have said she dressed up garments, as the simple meaning. She dressed up royally. Why does it say she dressed up Malchut? Aha, there's a different meaning here. Elo shalof shoso ruach hakodesh. She dressed up with ruach hakodesh. She dressed up. So therefore, because she dressed up with ruach hakodesh, that's why it says Malchut. Malchut means with Hashem. Malchut means with Hashem. So that therefore, here is a hint. What is the connection? Batilbash, she dressed Malchut. So the Gemara brings Ksiv Hocha. Here it uses the lashon Batilbash. Sivatilbash. Ksiv Hosam, there's a verse in Divrei Yomim, Aleph, Perikut Beis, it says, Veruach Lov Shah. So over there is also Lov Shah, Es Amosai. Over there, dressed Amosai, over there is talking that he was dressed with prophecy. The full verse reads as follows. Veruach Lov Shah Es Amosai Reish HaShalishim. HaShalishim L'cho David, V'amcho Ben Yisha Sholem. This was a prophecy that he dressed up over there where. So you see that the language of Vatilbash Lov Shah, what is written by Esther, is the same as is written by Amosai. Just like over there it's Ruach HaKodesh, over here it's Ruach HaKodesh. That's why it says Vatilbash Esther Malchut. It doesn't say Vatilbash Esther Bigdei Malchut. It doesn't say Garment Malchut. Okay. This is basically the end of the previous topic of the Gemara, in which the Gemara discussed the 7 women who were prophets. Amar Rab Nachman, says Rab Nachman, Lo yoi yehira yehirusa linashim, that it is not nice for women to give them, positions of greatness. Is that, in other words, is some sort of saying, a little derogatory, that they may abuse their privileges, their level of what they achieved. He says, Lo yohiv Yerusa, it's not nice to give them privileges. Why? The Gemara says like this: Tartin Nishe Yehirin Havyan. There were 2 women who were given positions of power or arrogance. Visanyan Shemayu, and their name is hated. They get such terrible names they got, these people. What does it mean? Shmesei Moses. Who are these two women that we're talking about? Chodosh Shmo Ziburta. One was called a bee. Who's that? Dvoira Hanevia. Ziburta. Dvoira. Dvoira is a bee. Ziburta is a bee. So Dvoira, she was given powers. We'll see in a minute. What did she do with that power? She did something wrong. We'll see in the Gemara. The same thing the Gemara says, V'chodosh Shmo Karkushta. And one's name was Karkushta, which means a weasel. Remember what the name was? Chulda Hanevia. Karkushta is a Chulda. Chulda Hanevia. So these two women had like hated names. Sanyan Shmoy, Shmoiseim, or disgusting names. One was called a bee. You know, bee, sometimes bee gives honey, but people say, don't bite me and don't give me honey. And one was a Chulda weasel. So what did she do? This Ziburta, this bee, Siba. Why are we saying Lo Yoy? Because it says when the Dvorah Neviah went out to war together with Barak ben Avinoam, it says Vatishlach, Vatikra leBarak. She sent and she called to Barak. Now, Barak was the general, and he was the main warrior. A matter of fact, she says, I'll go along with you, but she warned him that your honor is not going to be, because they're going to say a woman went. So she didn't she didn't trouble herself to go to him. She called Barak to come to her. That's considered, not nice, because she should have gone to the general. Karkashto, what happened with the Karkashto? That's the Chulda Haneviyah. Over there was King Yoshiyahu, who they found over there in the Sefer, in the Beis HaMikdash, and they sent to Chulda to find out what the story is. Like we talked about before, where was Yirmiyah, she allowed that she was related to Yirmiyah, the Gemara talked about before. So, what did she say? She says, Imru li'ish, tell the man that sent you to me, and she gives him the whole prophecy. But she should have said, Imru lamelech, say to the king. This was disrespectful. That's what he said. It's not good to give them the Yerusa, to give them that power, to give them that importance, because she took the importance and she calls Barak, she doesn't go to him. And Chulda Haneviyah speaks disparagingly by saying, say to the man, versus saying, say to the king. Okay. The Gemara has another comment over here. Amar Rav Nachman, says Rav Nachman. Chulda mibnei bonov shel Yeshua hoyisa. Chulda was a grandson of Yehoshua. How do we know that?